I just want to welcome everybody to Oh, That's Love.
No, it's Oh, That's Love.
No, it should be more like Oh, That's Love. We in the building. What's going on? As y'all can see, we rocking our BaeFit apparel.
I can never just share. Like, I have to put a caption.
Fresh off the presses. I don't know what y'all like. Y'all like the white? You know what I'm saying? Or y'all feeling Tash and her black or whatever.
Bliggity.
You know what I'm saying? So today's episode is about going into what we like to call BAESiness together. See what we did there?
See what Kyrie did there?
Going into BAESiness. So we started a BAESiness during the pandemic.
We did. Even though we talked about different ventures prior to
Facts.
quarantine, it just kind of gave us a boost to get it going, and also obviously more time to do it.
Facts.
So yeah, but we started a BAESiness.
Started a little BAESiness or whatever. That's what today's episode is going to be about. You know, couples in business as well as splitting bills.
I don't like my hair, but
you never like your hair.
That's not true.
Every week you playing this hair the whole episode.
I just really don't like it today. Maybe because it's wet.
All right. Does our hair look disgusting, y'all? Does it look bad? Does
We don't
it look
even
terrible?
have the comments up.
It's a few people in here. It's a couple people in here. See, look at you. You messing with stuff.
Mute.
Stop
2
messing with
seconds.
stuff. Anywho, who pays what? If a woman should pay more, if a man should pay more, you know, all of that nonsense that we always see 1,000 posts about is what we gonna get into.
Star said it looks good.
Today.
I'll take it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what we're gonna get into. Sorry.
I mean, we could do a hair episode too if that's what you want to talk
Not
about.
with this hair.
If you want to talk about hair.
Ain't it? But carry on, baby.
Anyway, so let's tell them how BaeFit started. Let's talk about that a little bit.
I laugh because BaeFit was the way BaeFit was about to start was what makes me laugh. I'm literally at my apartment. This is like early quarantine. This probably was like the week before they officially locked and closed everything down.
Right.
And I'm there and I'm catching up with my girlfriend and I get a text from Kyrie. Babe, I'm gonna go live to work out because people are in the house and I gotta work out. So I'm going live tonight. And I was just like,
yeah, I was ready. I'm going live for my workout.
But actually,
and everybody gonna do what I do.
It wasn't an I, it was a we.
Yeah, we, us.
So
we
had it been an I, maybe I would have been like, okay. But it was a we. So I was like, pump your brakes, bro. Like, what is your game plan? Do you have graphics? What is it gonna be called? What are you gonna do?
I was just gonna jump in.
He was just about to get on live. And I mean, that's cool. People get on live all the time, but when you associate me, and that's another thing, you have to know your partner. When you associate me, I was like, babe, this is not how we're doing this. This is not how we are doing this.
So people know by now that Tash takes her time with everything. She is meticulous. She's a planner. She's a second guesser, a third guesser. And I more so kind of just jump in and figure it out on the way.
Thanks.
So I think we bring each other balance there.
We do.
Especially in business, because it's better that way in business, number one, because you need bounce ideas off somebody and you know, things you might not have been thinking about, they come back with in the whole nine. But I think it strengthens us to have that balance because I'm able to kind of just push Tash into something, you know what I mean, without her having all these checks and balances. Like, she's writing her first ebook right now.
Right.
And that was one thing I had to push her into. Like, yo, you got all this knowledge about travel that you could be packaging up that people will pay for. You know, the simplest things we take for granted, especially in our fields, that other people automatically know. But people don't be knowing the simplest things. And that's how folks get rich, is packaging that type of stuff. So I kind of forced her into that. But as she said, she slowed me down with the whole BaeFit thing. It didn't even have a name at that time. I was just really ready to just jump in and go live. And
this was a Thursday night that he was like, I'm going live.
I'm going live. And she was like, well, let's at least wait till Monday. Let's figure some things out. Right. And we literally, like, that probably whole Friday, like, came up with BaeFit.
It was Saturday.
Saturday, came up with the name. Came up with our first version of the logo. The logo has changed since then.
Right.
What else? With workout plans.
Yeah.
With the whole nine.
It was like a whole thing. Like,
what we was going to do.
That was our weekend.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And now you have, 3 months later,
we out here 3 months later. And it's crazy because what this has spawned now is, like, obviously y'all watching Oh That's Love. So this is one piece of our brand. This is one thing that we do together. Everybody that knows me know I've already been, a producer. I've done things for television. I've done things for the internet, etc., etc. That's my craft. I'm never getting away from that. In fact, I'm getting more into producing and acting and directing and all of that, like I once was. So this whole show is something that, especially after COVID, we plan to keep going and bring other couples in that are doing amazing things, so that y'all won't, get tired of seeing our faces all the time. There's some other power couples out here. There's some people that are doing amazing things. There's some authors. There's some other, people that are in business. I'm not gonna shout nobody out, but we got a list of folks already that we want to feature on Oh That's Love, so that y'all can start to get some different perspectives on all of the different stuff that we may want to talk about. Cause we ain't invent relationships. We ain't, the standard or nothing like that. I know a lot of people appreciate our union and they appreciate, our energy and our vibe and all of that. But there's some other people that have been doing it way longer than us. We want to feature some married couples that been married for 40, 50 years and the whole nine, just to give people
layers, perspective.
Exactly. Good ideas on how to keep your relationship strong. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about our BAESinesses. And you guys can ask questions now. I wanna just give y'all, an opportunity to ask some questions about the businesses and the brand. So
also, if you are currently in business with your partner or even considering it, please ask questions or even just provide insight in the comments so that we can share and that others that are watching
100%.
can read them as well.
Or if you know couples that are in business, because one of the things that we're going to be doing is a couples retreat. And we will be looking for vendors. We'll be looking for other professional couples that have different things going on, where they can do, workshops and seminars and the whole nine. So if you know, in my Miss Green voice now, that's funny, Pooh. Anywho, if you know anybody that is a couple that's in business, whether they're married, whether they're not married, but they have a brand, they have a business, they have a restaurant, they have a clothing line, whatever it may be, let us know. Tag those people, because like I said, we're planning a couples retreat right now. Obviously, post COVID, when all this is over and people can get together again, we cooking up something fun for y'all. It's going to include, obviously, the BaeFit brand is fitness. The Oh That's Love brand is relationships and couples and the whole nine. We're both hella into wellness and well-being and health and all that. So it's going to be a little bit of that, and it's going to be some fun stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about empowering couples and that sort of thing. So that's one thing that we're working on. Your ebook. Yeah. You want to tell the people a little bit about what you're working on, what you're writing?
So as Kyrie mentioned, I love travel. I do travel. I am travel, and it literally brings me so much joy. And over the last 5 years, I have been working as a certified travel consultant, started my own travel agency, and has watched it grow into something that I couldn't even have imagined. So that's that. Travel with Tash, if you're not familiar. So switching gears now and thinking about other ways, as he mentioned, to encourage and share the knowledge that I've gained in these last 5 years, has now translated into the form of writing a series of ebooks on various topics that relate to travel and that encourage travel, that really breaks myths of travel and so forth. So really taking the opportunity to share the information that you may have naturally acquired or that you've done the work to acquire, you really never know where that might take you.
Right.
So as I've been diving into that particular venture, I'm realizing, like Kyrie said, how much information that I have that other people don't, and that I've now felt like this information is just natural. And he often corrects me when I'll be like, "Oh, everybody knows da 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 da," and he's like, "Everybody doesn't know that." So I challenge you to think about a topic that you feel very well versed in, and start to just write down some points of interest that you think you would want to share and that you think you could expand upon.
Right.
And see where that takes you. Like, I mean, you are also working on a ton of things, but there's one thing in particular that is another topic that's near and dear to you that you feel like you have a bunch of experiences that you can share. So that's really the easiest way to get it started. It doesn't have to be a reinvention of any wheel.
Right.
Like, you can do something that's already been done, but it's doing it your way.
And don't assume that people know the thing that you've studied for so long. One thing that people definitely want to do is they want to learn more, and I'm sure a lot of you during this time especially have maybe looked into other careers or different skills or backgrounds that you used to have that you're going back into. That's like me with fitness. I've always stayed fit, I've always worked out, but once upon a time I used to personal train, and that's one of the things that Tash and I have been discussing as far as a part of our Bae brand as well, to create some form of workout system or workout method or center or whatever. We haven't flushed it out, but something that is steered toward couples staying in shape and staying hot and sexy for each other.
Right.
So that's something that we've been talking about. That's from my past, so never consider that people know, especially if you've been studying something for so long. What Tash hinted towards was, some of you may have seen me posting the customer service guru and different customer service tips. So I am also working on an ebook for customer service, just a crusade for better customer service experiences. And what a lot of you might not know is I've been working for people, and I've been working in the customer service field for about 20 years. So one of my first jobs was the stock exchange floor, where I work with traders and brokers. And then I spent 6 years at Independence Blue Cross. I spent 2.5 years at Comcast, all in customer service roles. I was a manager at a well-known spa before, and just turning into my own business. For the past 10 years, I'm a client to customer, or I should say B2C business, where I'm working directly with the customer every single day. And I see what it's like and know what it's like to not just as a customer have a bad experience or a good experience, but as a business owner provide those customer service experiences. And then I took a lot of the training, because when you work in customer service corporate, they give you a ton of training. It's always learn how to do this. And I remember back then just being like, who don't understand or know how to do this? But you'd be surprised at what people don't know. So that's some of the knowledge that I plan to give going forward as well.
So I feel like, so we've shared kind of all those little ventures that we're working on and working on them together. But a large part of us seeing them through that I've noticed is that early on we asked each other, what do you want to work on? What are you working towards? What are some of the goals? What are some of the things that you envision for yourself in time? And I think that is a pertinent conversation to have with your partner, just to gauge and understand not only what their interests are, but where their interests are heading, and how you can support them in or by using some of the skills that you already possessed, and or gaining new skill sets together. And I believe that that's something that we are doing as a couple, because I'm learning from you every day, and vice versa. And it's allowing us to leverage the opportunities that we've already kind of set foot with individually.
Right.
Yeah.
So if y'all got any questions, drop them now. But I'm gonna jump on down to something that I see on Instagram and on Facebook all the time. And it's about splitting bills. It's about who shares the burden of responsibility when it comes to money, right? And I think it's a good timed topic because last week we talked about cheating. This week we're talking about money and finance and those sorts of things. For those of you who don't know, cheating and finance are the two leading causes of divorce since damn near dawn of time. If you look it up, you look up why people have divorced, it's either infidelity or some type of financial burden or mishap or whatever that causes couples to split. So, splitting bills. How do you feel about splitting bills, Miss Natasha Anna?
Okay. My honest opinion.
Keep it a bean.
On the splitting of the bills. Is it like a split? I feel like it should be something that A, comes naturally, but B, is discussed in terms of ironing out what are our responsibilities.
Right.
I don't think that should be a conversation that feels taboo and shouldn't be had, and we just kind of like, I'll just pay here and here.
Facts.
You know, it should be discussed, but let's know what we're doing. So that way, if I know, all right, well, rent's $1,500, you got $5, and I got $1,000. That just needs to be clear.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a conversation that feels uncomfortable. At the end of the day, you both came into the relationship with your own individual expenses, and that
sometimes some people be getting with some bums.
Individual expenses. You got a cell phone bill, that's an expense.
Yeah, but if you ain't had no crib and you was a hobosexual.
No. I just
And
meant you're coming into the relationship with your own
with whatever
expenses.
you got.
Yeah, like you got your own responsibilities. So that is clear. With that being clear, let's talk about it together and figure out checks and balances.
I'm gonna pose some questions since the people ain't asking no questions. Ask y'all questions, y'all, because there's other people in the room, well, the watching too, that can possibly answer some of your questions. So me and you, we kind of got our thing worked out because we've had those conversations, and if y'all don't know, we're in the whole getting to our situation merging together, like right now, literally in it. Like we're cleaning Tash's apartment out and the whole nine. So like she said, we come in this relationship with her.
That's a good question, but go ahead, finish it though.
Her having her own things, and me having my own things, and you know, not needing anyone else to help us with those responsibilities.
Right.
One of the things that I always say is you should have a situation carved out for yourself. Not even situation, it's a bad word. You should have, that's a bad word, but.
Right, like you should have a whole side life, no. According to Curry.
No, what I mean is you should have a lifestyle picked out for yourself, right? How you want to live, where you want to live, what you want to drive,
right.
You know, the whole nine, even down to like, you know, what streaming services you got and all that, because that's a bill too. But you should have that figured out for yourself, and you should be able to afford that for yourself. And then your partner should be a bonus to that. That's how I personally feel. And I feel that way whether you're a woman or you're a man. I feel like the way you want to live in this day and age, you gotta grind to go get that for yourself, and then you have to find someone else who has grinded and gone and got their thing for themselves.
Yeah.
And that thing sort of kind of matches. Y'all at least close to the same bracket, right? You might not be in the same bracket, but you know, if she got a 1-bedroom apartment and her bed's still on the floor, but you living, you know, on the main line in a little mini mansion, she might be bad, but I don't know. I don't know if that really meshes right. You know what I'm talking about? And vice versa. You know, if she the corporate exec, you know, pushing a little beam and all that, and he's still living with his mom's, shorty, you might not want to let him move in with you. You know what I'm saying?
But I understand the circumstances. Sometimes people move back with their parents to save for their homes and so forth. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like that. See, when you say something like that, then age comes into play.
Okay.
Age comes into play. Because, listen, I'm like this. I feel like 25 and older, you should be at least able to be on your own. I can respect it, and women, y'all get that respect more than men do. Because a woman that stay with her parents is like, oh, all right, cool, she live with her mom, it's cool. Yeah. But a dude,
is that because you know you got your own place, so you can still get yams over at your own place?
No, I'm saying I'm just saying general respect to the people, from people. Like, men don't really care if women don't have a car. We don't really care if you don't have your own crib. We might care down the line if it's really getting serious, the things that you're able to do, but that's not gonna stop a dude, especially from trying to get the yams. Mm-hmm. But for a chick, he don't got no car, that's a red flag. That's a red. Or him, and how old you is? You don't got no crib, and you 30. I don't know about that one.
Fair enough, but to your point, know your person before you delve into different ventures.
Facts.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about this through y'all questions. All right. Let me throw up my little questions graphic. I know I got it somewhere in here.
Lord.
Where it's at? I might not have put it in. Uh-huh. You go ahead to ask one of their questions.
First question says, what about whose name goes on the lease or mortgage? Good question. So, I guess this is kind of twofold to someone else's question that asks, did I move in with you, or is this a mutual residence? Because I think that can kind of be molded into the same kind of conversation and topic. Because if I'm moving in with you, obviously your residence is already established and that information is on that lease or mortgage. Obviously, it might be a little bit easier to amend a lease if you felt like that was necessary for your own security,
right,
than it would be for a mortgage. But I do believe that it's a lot easier for two people to move into a place together than it is for someone to move into someone else's space. Unless you're a Kyrie and then you're just so welcoming and open. But for the most part, in my experience, you kind of got your ways. You feel like this is mine, and if somebody just does something a little bit awkward, you're like, that's not how I usually do that. And now I'm trying to check myself because technically I'm supposed to love this person for who they are, but that's just not where that goes.
And that's definitely a part of it. It's definitely a part of it.
So.
But here's the thing. You know what I believe? I believe that people are not as honest or as committed as they think they are sometimes when they're moving in with people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to money and stuff like that, you gotta have a conversation, and you also gotta realize that relationships don't work way more often than they work. That's just a fact. Everybody has this naivete about themselves within their relationship. And I've said it before. Me and Tash are on cloud 9, and we plan to continue and sustain this thing for forever. But we don't know, right? So I think having that conversation with your partner that's what's fair? I want to be protected just as well as you want to be protected. And I think that people talk about a name on a lease and they talk about all of these things, but what that has a tendency to do is it really has a tendency to sour things between people. It really has a tendency for sometimes people to be like, well, my name ain't on the lease, so I'm not getting ready. That was the girl, wasn't it?
I know, you just go straight to Shaniqua that just couldn't get it right. But it's ever anybody else.
Because I got a rep for the fellas.
Okay.
But anywho, it's a similar reaction to when people get titles. A lot of times when you are, just kind of going with the flow, things is good, they blissful, and as soon as you apply that, oh, this is my man, this is my girl, it's my boyfriend, whatever it might be, things start to change a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's once again because people weren't being as honest or as committed as they really thought they were. You gotta really be honest with people, whether you're a man or a woman. If you're not ready to be committed, if you're not ready to move in and all of that, just say that. Save yourself the drama and the trouble. If you really are ready, then have the talk, right? and you got to be honest, right? Because you sharing your life with each other. One thing that somebody told me a long time ago that stuck with me was, in order to be a lawyer, a doctor, some scientists and different things that have so much bearing on your life, right? Just think about it. If you go see a doctor, that man or woman has to diagnose your health for your life's sake. And they have to go to school for 6, 8, 10 years and then continue to learn the entire time. A lot of times we jump into relationships and move in with people and stuff like that in 3 months and 6 months and we married in less than a year and all these things. And it's like, how you trust somebody with your whole entire life that fast? Like, it ain't no such thing as a doctor at first sight, but we believe in love at first sight. You know what I mean? And y'all heard me in Tash's story. It wasn't love at first sight. It was little butterflies, little sparks flew. But we grew to where we are right now. And we only, what's this, our 7th month?
I'm not counting. I'm just enjoying.
All right. Well, we 6, 7 months in, somewhere around there. But the point I was making before I got thrown off track by thinking that is, you got to take more time. You have to take more time with making these decisions. And the only thing that can skew that time is how open and honest you're really able to be, right? And that's one of the things that accelerated our relationship and the things that we're doing, because we tell each other everything.
And set expectations.
Right.
Like, be clear what your expectations are, because you don't want to, like Harry said, 3 months in, a year in, and then all of a sudden you're sharing expectations and they're not meeting them. Get that out of the way up front and know that A, you're not wasting your time, and B, that's the person for you. I think we get so kind of scared or caught up, as Kyrie mentioned, in just not being our authentic selves from the beginning, that we get caught up on the back end, and then the relationships are hard thing comes into play. So be honest with yourself and be honest with your partner, and let that lead you.
Right.
Or not lead you.
And I'm talking honest about, and this leads into Rakai's question. You got to be honest about what you make. Some people don't want people in their business. What you make, what your current bills are, what the current bills are when you go in. And then you got to figure out how to make those things work for you. And I'll give y'all a case in point. One of the things with Tash and I is, I technically own 3 vehicles. I got 2 for my business and then 1 for my personal. And then Tash also has a car. So it doesn't make sense for us to have all of those vehicles. You know what I'm saying? If my car goes down, I have access to my company vehicles. If her car goes down, she has access to my vehicle and obviously my company vehicle as well. If it, hell broke loose and everybody's car was broke. But it doesn't make sense to keep all of those notes. So that's one of the things that we're thinking about right now. Obviously with COVID and my business changing and the whole thing, I might not need 2 company vehicles. With us about to move together, she may not need or isn't going to need her vehicle. So now we're thinking about how to package those together, refinance, and potentially save like $800 to $1,000 a month,
Right.
because we're consolidating those things. So it's things like that you have to be willing to work on together, instead of coveting what's yours and just being like, oh, this is my baby though, I'm missing it.
And I'm a coveter. I'm a person who covets. And I'm learning to not do that, but not because I don't want to, but it's like I don't need to.
Right.
Because my partner, the person that I'm with, is going to still make sure that I feel like I have my own and I feel like I have what I need. And that's the difference. If you don't trust that that person's got you, then yeah, you're going to feel like,
facts.
Oh no, I don't want to get rid of my car because,
right. That might be a red flag that you want to consider for yourself. If you feel like I ain't getting rid of my car because if Jerome start acting up, then you know what I mean. It might not be as blissy as you think it is. So I'm gonna read the splitting the bills depend. It might not be as blissy. The splitting the bills depend on how much money I make versus how much money you make. Then does that make us roommates with benefits? See,
we're guys on the road with these questions.
Right? She popping. She
I
popping. I would venture to say it's first comes love, right? I think people be forgetting that. Like, first comes love, y'all. Like, you gotta fall for somebody and they gotta fall for you. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, you have to just have these conversations. So I would answer by saying it might depend on who makes more, right? But then it depends on who you're dealing with, and it depends on who you are. Because some people will feel like, well, because you make more, you should pay more. Some people may feel themselves that way. Because I make more, I'll pay more, right? And then some people may feel like, you know, you had this before that, I had that before this. We joining together, let's just split everything down the middle, right?
And then some people would just feel like, you're the man, so
you the man,
take care
of me, right? and you know what the thing is? There's nothing wrong with that. Because
there's nothing wrong with any of those.
None of it. And there's men out there that want that situation, right? There's men out there that want to just be the provider, whether they girl is a housewife or not. There's some men that feel like, no, my shorty ain't working. She not doing that. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those men. You know what I'm saying? Tash know that. I love a go-getter ass woman. I love a woman that is in the streets, got her own thing popping out in these streets, doing her own shit, and is a boss in her own right. That itself turns me on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the housewife type. You know what I'm saying? And Tash ain't a housewife type. Like
I tried earlier. And he got me right on out of here.
Got me out of here. Because that's just not her strong suit, but I'm okay with that. Like Tash, rather than clean, she rather hire a maid. But at the same time, she make enough money to go hire that maid. If the damn house is clean, what I'm mad for? It don't matter if she cleaned it or she paid somebody to get it cleaned. It's clean. Period, point blank. And we understand that about each other. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing. See, people will let you believe that you shallow. And I know I'm on my soapbox right now, but I got to get this up. People will let you believe that you're shallow for going out and seeking the type of person that you want. I don't care if you want somebody that's gorgeous. I don't care if you want somebody with a crazy body. I don't care if you want a dude with a lot of money. I don't care if you want a woman that cooks, cleans, and does the whole nine. Get what you want. Who cares what other people think about what you want? About the thing that makes you happy. That don't make them happy. You shouldn't be out here trying to please them. You should be out here trying to please you.
That also translates back to BAESiness and businesses as well. Because sometimes people feel like they can't try new ventures because of what someone else might think. Or, you know, and I'll use a real...
They don't have the support at home.
Yeah, and I'll use a real example because this just kind of happened to me where, yes, we're doing BaeFit and we are branding ourselves as Team Us, and it might not be my new Philly, or it might not be travel with Tash, because A, travel is taking a hit, so people are pivoting, but B, I'm trying other things. I don't want to stay in a pocket. There's so many ways to generate revenue. I have mastered one and I'm exploring others. And I had someone in my DM just really upset that I was promoting something else that wasn't travel. And I had to explain to them that I haven't given up on travel. I still post and I'm still doing it. Things have changed and I'm also taking the time to reposition. But I'm allowed the opportunity to explore whatever makes me happy.
Not only allowed, but I support it.
Exactly.
And she supports me in that way.
Exactly. So so be careful of other people's opinions, whether it be in the capacity of, damn, you like this and you did it and you shallow, or dang, you're trying this venture, but what about that? That's still thriving. Right. And honestly, once you've gotten to a point where something can work for you and you don't have to work as hard at it, it's time to explore something else and try to perfect something else.
And we talked about what that energy is. What that energy is people be mad at themselves for not getting as busy as you are. That's what that energy is. Busy, boo. You know what I'm saying? It's like people, you said it yesterday, they want to see you do better, but not better than them. Right? And y'all gotta understand when that energy is coming your way. People be like, oh, I see you started a new little business. That little, that's hate right there.
Little anything.
That's hate right there.
Or you got a new little girlfriend or whatever.
Yes. Yes. Don't.
Beware of the little.
Yes. Get rid of that little. Like, if people ain't gonna support you, they ain't gonna support you. And then here's the other thing. You can't become a millionaire, even a thousandaire, off of family and friends. You can't do it. You have to create a business that is something that's going to span the masses. If people who don't know you don't learn you, your business is never going to be successful, right? None of us have enough family and friends to make us even a thousandaire off of our products. And then your family and friends is the first people that be like, oh, the t-shirt's $13.99. Let me get 2 for $20. I'll support you. No, that's not support. See, people got it misconstrued. What support is if my t-shirt is $13.99, you give me $15 and tell me keep the change. That's support, because you see me starting something new and you want me to succeed. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to take away from my bottom line, but black people.
It's funny. Somebody literally just wrote, celebrate black people in business.
They always want a discount and a handout from their people. We not gonna get ahead if we don't understand what support is. Support is not make me miss my bottom line. When I give you a discount, I miss my bottom line. Right? When I give you 2 for $20, but they $13 a piece, I miss my bottom line. Help me make my bottom line. Right? Say to me, you know what? Here, I'm gonna give you an extra $13.99. Don't even worry about the tea. You know what I mean? That's what my cousin Drew said earlier. He said, look, I'm gonna buy 2 of them. Don't even worry about sending them to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what y'all gotta do. Y'all gotta realize what support means. Right. Between business to business. It's not about
and Bae to Bae.
And Bae to Bae.
Right. Business to business, Bae to Bae. We on point today, babe.
Let's read some more of these questions, man. Let me see what they talking about. Everybody does certain things differently, and that's okay as long as it's getting done legally. Then everybody is good, says Rebecca Augusta. I agree, Rebecca. Legally. We gotta get it done legally. Sonny Bison says money is one of the major factors in a relationship.
What is for spouse?
It is. And Sonny Bison has a question. He says, what if your spouse loses their job? I think it's extremely important to have a conversation about not getting frustrated with that person that got laid off. Listen, I started this conversation by saying finance and infidelity. They're literally you can look it up. They're literally the 2 reasons why people get divorced. So 100%. I mean, if you can't deal with the cycles of life, why are you in a relationship anyway? Right? People getting laid off. People like Tash just told you. Tash is the equivalent of laid off right now because she runs a travel business and people can't travel right now. Right? So I'm not looking at her like, yo, like, what you doing? This relationship over, No, she's already looking into new ways, right? This business and all of the other things that she's trying to do, they spawned during this COVID epidemic. Right. You know, it's a pivot. Right. So people gotta understand that life is cycles, right? Your mate might be laid off today, but you might be laid off tomorrow. So you gotta uplift and support that person during their time of need. Now, at the same time, if you got a lazy person that's not trying, I don't believe in supporting that person. I'm sorry, right? If you got a person that is not really trying to pick themselves up visibly, out here getting it. All right, you got laid off. You was depressed for 2 weeks. That's cool. But after that,
what's the plan?
We got to go do something because I'm still a go-getter.
I can't come home every day and you on the couch like, hey, boo, what did you do today? Because I went to work. That is not going to fly.
I know Tash ass ain't going for that. Y'all should see her when I'm late with a graphic or something. Babe, we got an hour to live. I ain't put nothing up yet. What's going on? I'll be like, yo, get out my face. Graphic almost done now. Damn.
It's bad. But I just, again, it goes back to the expectations and Sharon, and he knows that I take pride in everything that we put out and everything that we do because, yes, I'm a planner, perfectionist, but she
is a lot, y'all. This is a crazy partner to have to deal with in business. But I feel like at the end of the day, whatever you put out represents your brand, represents you, and represents what you're going for. And again, Kyrie shouldn't have brought me on board because if he wanted it to be willy-nilly, he should have did it by himself. But if he wanted it done right, he grabbed the right partner. Anyway, she's a lot. She's meticulous. She's a micromanager. She be over my head like, you need a comma right there. All right, I got your little comma. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Rikai says this is a good one. If we have a business together, do we split the profits 50-50 or do we split it on how much you contributed? That's a good job. What you got?
I'm gonna weigh in on this.
Go ahead, talk your ish.
So, okay. If you're going into business with your mate, I believe that it shouldn't necessarily be here's the profit and here's the profit. I would suggest having a business bank account where the profits deposit themselves into, and this account is accessible by, or able to be accessed by the both of you, but it really is a fund that continues to support your business. So, you know, if you guys made X amount of dollars this week on the selling of apparel, then okay, now we're using that to purchase more apparel, or we're using that to invest in other businesses or invest in stock. At the end of the day, it feels more fair if you're doing it that way, and understanding that, you know, if your contribution was to make sure that the site was up and their contribution was to make sure that the site had everything it needed, then you feel like, okay, we're both working towards this. But if you come home after you've done everything and Bae is in front of the TV like
I'm not allowed to watch TV until my list for the day is done. Just want y'all to know. Like, what you doing, Kyrie? But listen, I want to give him some game, because that's how you be. That's how you be. I want to give him some game though. But you know what's crazy too though? I appreciate her riding my back like that, because I do need it sometimes. That's number one. Number two, she'll tell you I never don't get anything done.
Facts.
I just push the envelope a little bit.
The deadline.
And be having her sweating. But I never don't get it done. It gets done. But I want to give y'all a little bit of game, because this is how we do it. When it comes to, Rakai's question was, if you go into business together, do you split the profits 50-50? And Tash touched on, it should fund something else. So our plan, the things that we've already talked about, is how can one of these businesses generate enough income to pay our bills? Right? So we talked about, when you going in, who pays the rent, who pays the cable, who pays the water bill, whatever, right? Our plan is to create a business first that pays all of that for us. So we're doing all of this work together, but as she mentioned, this account starts to generate income. That income goes to our bills. So neither one of us is profiting off of that.
Right.
It's creating our way of life. It's creating the way that we live. And then the next step is to refund another business, or I shouldn't say refund, but to start up another business that we can now say we have other goals. Like, we want to own a home in another state. This business is going to take care of that, right? We want other things. Whatever it is, we plan the business in a way that the coins from the business go toward another thing that we want to acquire in life. So it's not necessarily a profit that's going into Tasha's pocket. She still does her travel business and other things. I still do my production business and other things. Those are where we profit. So we profit off of ourselves. We pay into the household together. Like, we split grocery bills, or she get food one night, I get food another night. Whatever. We do things like that. But as far as putting these businesses together, the goal there is to increase our quality of life.
Right.
And we're planning to do that with the business. Few more questions before we get out of here, because we don't want the show to be too long. I did see one more. What was a backhanded compliment, Sonny Bison?
Oh, your little something.
Oh yeah. Lil's definitely is. Lil. What we got? Say it loud for the people in the back. Say Daniel Turner. Love that push.
Say it loud for the people in the back.
So Dwayne Dickerson said, when's the last time we worked a 9 to 5? Tosh was way more recent than mine, so you could take that, boo.
So I left my role as director of operations for a hotel in Baltimore, hotel and conference center in Baltimore, in September of this past year. So not too long ago, to pursue Travel with Tash full time. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, Travel with Tash began back in 2015 while I was totally working and working on my master's and working full time and just like continuing on. And then I finally got to a point where I just decided I'm gonna bet on myself, and I have the resources to do so. So it wasn't like a matter of like, oh, just throw it all away. But I utilized my career path as a way to gain the industry knowledge that I later want to speak to and have the credibility to do so as I continue on with all the ventures and all the things that I want to do. But yeah, it was just September, so not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Mine was 2011. I worked at Comcast. I was slanging cable door to door.
Slanging cable.
I was the cable slanging boy. And you'd be surprised, I was making great money. Easy great money. But I took that job as a means to an end because 2 years prior to that, I had decided what I wanted to do, which was become a filmmaker. And I started to pursue that journey, which led me to founding Focus Studios, led me to founding My New Philly. And it's funny because I just said to Tash, I got a change jar on the back of my bed that I just, throw the little change in as it comes in. And I remember a time when I used to need that change. Like, I remember going to the coin store, dumping my change out. Oh, I got my little $48 and I needed that to eat. You understand what I'm saying? And to go from that to a point really in like 12, 13 years it took me to really build this business up. It's just amazing what you really can do if you stay down and you stay focused on something. And believe y'all me, when I first started my company, I was broke. I'm talking about for the first 4 or 5 years, I was struggling because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't that good, wasn't good at business, had a lot of things to learn in the whole nine. That's probably a topic for a whole nother show. But that's where it is. Date makers, what you know about date makers, Danielle Turner? Let me find out. I got a fan. I gotta click her name to see who that is. That was my first show I got on TV. Date makers, boy. That was the joint. What else we got? Anything else? What's the social media info for the travel agency? You answered that. What's that? We got a line. What do you say? You work at Comcast too, Sonny Bison. Oh, all right.
I don't know did I miss anything else?
I don't think we did. We gotta get ready to get out of here, man.
We got everything.
I think we dropped a little couple of jewels for them and all of that.
It's a good combo today, folks.
Yes, indeed. If anybody got one last question on a hurry up. What's up with you? The little SD. What's up?
Oh my gosh.
Yo, she helped me put the whole date makers together. I ain't know that was you. People be having funny names on Facebook, man. Anywho, it's time for us to get up out of here. It's been a great little that's love. What we doing next week? What's next? Oh, you ain't even do your announcement, like. Tell the people, before we get out of here. Man, tell the people or whatever.
Can you put up my graphic?
I'm about to.
Thank you. So, anyways, as we mentioned, BaeFit is one component of the Bae brand that we are working on and bringing to you guys. So if you haven't already copped your apparel, please do so. But just so that you all know first, you're the first people, the first people to know, the black t-shirts are now available. So you can go there now and purchase and buy, and they'll ship right out to you. We have them, they're here, and they're live. And I'm excited if you couldn't tell because they're so soft and I really like them.
Yes, indeed.
I do.
And
let me see if I can put the
what?
The link while you're doing that, while you're saying what you're saying.
I just wanted to say, if y'all don't know what BaeFit is, follow at BaeFit Live on Instagram. The videos also come on my Facebook. So earlier on in the quarantine, we didn't even tell them the whole like what we started doing with the workouts. But anyway, earlier on in the quarantine, me and Tash used to always work out. We went to the gym together. I've said it before. Tash was working out before she met me.
Does it go away?
Nah, it's still, you got to go back to the page.
Oh, okay.
But when we got together and the quarantine started, it was like, damn, what we gonna do? So we started putting together these live workouts that air every Monday through Thursday, or I should say Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. and then Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. So if anybody's looking for new workouts to do, if you're tired of doing the same YouTube video or whatever, we hit you with something different every day. BaeFit Live, you can watch and follow along. That's what makes it a fun workout, because we have a whole community now of regulars that come and they work out with us. And that's
a good time.
What you say?
They're a good time.
Oh yeah, they the shit. But that's what makes BaeFit different. is it's a brand that's geared toward couples in fitness and staying in shape together, staying well and healthy together, because that's something that her and I really believe in. She tagged the Shopify for BaeFit. If y'all want to go and support her, she got a few items on there. Y'all notice I keep saying she because I just did the logo. Everything else is Tash. I did the logo and donated my body, my good looks. And the rest was on her.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
My body and my good looks. Okay. Why
But
you
yeah,
put the BaeFit logo up?
I did. The BaeFit logo was just up, babe. If you pay attention, it was just up all that time when you was talking.
Oh, I was talking.
Yeah, and then you was clicking around putting
Okay.
the Shopify stuff
All
up,
right,
man.
cool.
All right. It's time to get out of here on All That's Love, man. As always, it's been real.
Wait, I forgot it.
You forgot it.
Wait, okay, here we go.
better not forget our damn handshake.
Definitely forgot it.